Hello, morning everybody. Sorry for that. We are late. We are like 3 minutes into time. So today we'll start off from where we left yesterday. We'll start off with the SP 500. Move forward to the other symbols. We'll not start with Euro USD because this chart looks much better for me. It looks like a very good sell. There's a pin bar here which points upward, but then I ultimately expect price to come back up to this trend line. So as can see, we had a support. We had a support previously. We also had a support here. This, it looks insignificant, but this is a support. Then we had this as a support. Now we expect price to come back up to the same level before we can pick a buy. As it is, this is still a very good buy. The overall trend is upwards, but then as we are speaking now, we expect price to retrace back to the lower side. So whatever we are selling now is merely a retracement. We are not selling. We are not in line with the main trend. We are just selling a retracement, and that retracement should not go up to this level here. That is on the weekly. On the daily, we should be having almost the same thing. Just look at this. We had a resistance at the top, had a support from the bottom. Check daily. Actually, this was a bit clearer. We had here resistance, and then we had a support here, which means if price leaves this level where the price is now, it should come back up to this point here. And I want to explain clearly where we expect that sell to start off from. At this, then we also have this. The entire zone is actually a very good place to sell from. So as long as we have price not breaking above it, we expect a sell. As long as price does not clearly ascend beyond 2969.4, actually expect a sell. So the idea actually is not to sell now. Wait for a slight pullback to the upper side. Then you're supposed to pick a sell up to this level here, and the correct place to pick a sell from is in between this zone here, the one which I've marked. We'll move forward to gold. I've said today we start from the other side, gold. And the first thing I want to mention about gold is that you can now trade gold without being charged what is known as swap. So swap is merely the amount of money you charge for holding trades overnight. From 1st of last month, September, until now, you can hold your trades overnight without being charged what is known as swap. So as I've mentioned, swap is merely the amount of commission you charge for holding your trades overnight. So if you're trading gold, silver, or any other CFDs with FreshForex, you actually will not be charged what is known as swap. It is free. You can hold your trades overnight without being charged anything. So with gold, this is what we have. We have this, yeah, a very good support. Also have that, and then we have the entire place as a support. It's this. So as long as we have price not going clearly below 1482.65, as long as we have price not going below this level, we are still looking for the buy which you mentioned yesterday. We want to buy it off from that, where within that zone. We have our first take profit there. Actually, this also should be a zone. We have our first take profit there, and then we have our last take profit at the very top, which is there. So if you are looking at this chart, you better be prepared to look for buy positions. This is purely based on price action. You should be looking for buy orders, and in case price goes below this level, that's the only time you look for a sell. And even better, the correct place to look for a sell is when price breaks below this level. This should be the correct place to sell from. As it is now, we are still into a buy which we took previously. We are not going to change that position. The buy which we've been recommending from last week, we are still holding on to it. Wait for that retracement, pick a low risk buy, have your first take profit at around 1532.18. next take profit is at 1555.63. I hope that makes sense. So we'll move forward to the next symbol, which is Brent oil. Brent oil is here. Brent oil so far is supposed to continue to the lower side, and on this one actually I have to make some changes. Yesterday we said a sell, but I mentioned some level on the daily which I don't think it's much better. It doesn't look as good as the way it looks on the force. So this was the correct place you ought to be looking for a sell from. Yesterday, I think on the daily, I mentioned some level which I realized later was not a very good one, but this should be the correct place to sell from. This one. If you are trading this symbol, you better be looking for sell positions around this level here, in between this place. You have your first take profit there. So if you sell it here, have your stop loss above this level here. Have your stop loss above these highs, 60.17. Have your stop loss above there, and then have your first take profit here. We'll move forward. We move to our next symbol, USDJPY. This is USDJPY. I'll look at it from the monthly first. USDJPY, this is what we had. We had a support here, a very good monthly support, and then we also had a level here. This is also a very good level, and then we also had this level there. Then we also had that level. Then we have this level there. The weekly chart, we have the same levels. So on the weekly, I'm going to shift this slightly lower so that we have this support. This one remains where it is, and then I'll push this slightly higher. I'll also push this slightly higher so that we have two levels there. So if you are looking at this chart, you better be looking for a sell if price comes back to this level, 108.50. Wait for a sell from within this range here. Have your first take profit, and the next one should be at the top bottom. So if this happens that the price does not bounce off from 108.50, instead it continues up, you simply are supposed to wait for a retracement before you can pick a buy up to the next level, which is there. So this should be the correct place to buy from. And if that does not happen, that instead the price continues downwards, then we'll expect it to proceed even lower, then retrace back up before we continue even further lower up to the next level, 101.09 at this point here. So as much as we are waiting for a sell, we don't want to refuse the fact that the price may continue upwards. If it continues upwards, then this is what may happen. If it bounces off the way it did previously, then that will mean we expect a sell. And even better, if price can go below this low here, 104.69. If price goes below that level, then that will be the correct best place to look for a sell from. So we'll move forward to our next chart, USD. Euro USD should be a sell, so don't be surprised when you see price going up. The upward which you're seeing is merely just a retracement. The reason I'm holding on to that sell is because on the monthly, just look at this. We had a pin bar for a sell and second pin bar for a sell. Then the price is pushing to the upper side. What these two means is the price should proceed to the upper side. Whatever we are seeing now is just a retracement. So do not focus so much on a sell, I mean on a buy. These pin bars mean the same thing, that we are supposed to continue to the lower side. So as much as price continues to close lower than the previous candle, we are still into a sell. So hold on to a seller's perspective, expecting price to proceed even lower. On the weekly, we have this level. Yeah, it's a very good level, a very good support which was broken, a retracement still below. So we expect a sell from around this point. The daily, the same thing, we still expect a sell. That's a very good level there. This is another very good level. So expect price to clearly descend below the lower one. If price goes below the line which I've marked at the very bottom, then that will confirm that we are selling. So the main idea here is to just wait for price to slightly descend below this level, trace back, then you continue selling it even lower. That is exactly what we expect to happen. A retracement, a break below, a retracement, then you pick a sell up to the next level. So with this one, you actually are supposed to sell it goes below, or wait for it to retrace back, then you can pick that sell up to the next level, which is there. This should be a very good place to sell from. So we'll move forward. GBP USD. Again, if you have any questions, just feel free to post them for me. I'll be able to respond immediately. Anytime I see a question, I'll be able to respond as fast as I see any question which I see. I'll be able to respond as fast as I see it. I have this on the daily. We had a support here. That's a very good support. Also have this, a very good support. We had a break. There's an inside bar above a clear level. Then we have an engulfing. So anytime this happens, that you have a resistance, then the price goes above that resistance. Then the next candle after that break is actually an inside bar, which is this. Then after that inside bar, what follows is an engulfing candle which supports the previous direction, immediate previous direction, and that direction is upwards. That means you're supposed to look for a buy immediately. So if you are looking at this, if you have this happening, that you have an inside bar followed by an engulfing candle, expect price to proceed in that direction. And when price comes back, this is still a buy unless the price goes below 1.2271. If price goes below this level, then we'll expect it to proceed even lower up to this point here. This is what we expect to happen. This is what we expect to happen entirely. So that should bring us to the end of today's market overview. We meet again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. Bye.